Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with another 80s slasher film. This time I'll be doing the cult favorite, Curtains, which is one I like. Came out in 1983, I guess it was finished in like 81, but, it sort of went through hell being made. It says it's directed by Jonathan Stryker, but that's because the original director, see if his name is on here. No, it's not. Oh, give me a second. Richard Ciupka. Probably pronounced that wrong. Richard Ciupka had made a movie called Curtains, but then when it came down to editing it, the editor and the producer wanted a totally different film. They only found 45 minutes worth of a feature length to be worth it, because Ciupka wanted to do like a psychodrama, and the producer and the editor wanted an 80s slasher film. So they had like a couple years of reshoots, and it just kind of went on forever. So that's why tonally it's kind of off. You have some, slow, like a slow-paced, well-filmed psychodrama, and then other times it's a slasher film. The story's pretty simple, but it's kind of funny. It's it is a cult favorite. A lot of people like this movie, except the people that made it. Actress Samantha Eggar hates this movie. She was in The Brood. She was the one that's giving birth to all the messed up children, which is a great Cronenberg film. She was also in The Exterminator. I don't think John Vernon really liked the movie. He was the dean in Animal House. A lot of the women, because it's mostly an all-female cast, they all disliked it. Producers hated it. The director didn't like it, which is actually why director credit goes to Jonathan Stryker, which is John Vernon's character's name in this, and his character is a film director. Because Ciupka pretty much said, if only half this footage is mine, I don't want credit for it, so they just gave it to the character, Jonathan Stryker. Pretty much the film is, there's this film director, Jonathan Stryker. He wants to make this movie called Audra, which I guess is about this woman from an insane asylum. Well, his muse is this actress played by Samantha Eggar. So she sort of helps him get the film rights to Audra. And she sort of goes method, and she commits herself to a mental hospital to really get into character. But she finds out while she's there that director Stryker has left her there. He's not going to come get her back, and he's holding auditions for the role of Audra, which she was promised. So she escapes and pretty much seeks vengeance on the whole production. I guess, which is why it's called Curtains. And the bulk of the film, the main events takes place at Jonathan Stryker's mansion. And there's 6 women who he's trying to decide who he wants to play Audra. And those are our victims. The first victim doesn't make it to the house because she gets killed. It's not a very bloody film, which in fact the effects artists, I know it says on here, Um, Greg Canham. Greg Canham is not a fan of this movie because a lot of his effects were not used. In fact, the reason why it's sort of this old hag kind of banshee mask is because the actress Samantha Eggar that had to wear it, originally he had constructed pretty elaborate, good-looking makeup, latex makeup, and she refused to wear it. So he kind of had this not-so-great-looking mask, which some scenes the mask looks pretty good. Like, of course, the ice skating scene, which everybody remembers, everybody likes. It is classic. And then some of the other actresses, they didn't want to be covered in blood. They only wanted like a little blood here, there. They didn't want to get all bloody. So it just... And also the composer, the music composer, Paul Zaza, he was contractually obligated to do this movie. So no one's happy with this movie. But even a lot of the audiences, like, critically, it didn't do very well. But with slasher fans, you know, it is a cult favorite. I had to watch this twice because first time I watched it, it was really late. I was kind of falling asleep, and I was like, I can't do a review based on this. So I watched it again, and then I watched the Ultimate Nightmare, The Making of Curtains, which is a 2014 retrospective, about 34 minutes. And I liked it a lot better the second time I watched it. And it still sort of has the 80s VHS quality, but it's released by Synapse, and they always do great transfers and put good features on. They have pretty good releases, so I think it's getting a Blu-ray, but I would have to recommend this release. And also, you know, this doll was supposed to be sort of a recurring motif and iconic. It's only in 2 scenes. It's in a scene where the first girl gets killed in a nightmare sequence. Which the nightmare sequence was the original director. A lot of the really sort of weird stuff, the not really slasher stuff, is his. And then all the other stuff is the reshoots by the producer and editor. So all these girls get to the director's house, and one of them, the girl that's the ice skater, she's played by Leslie Donaldson, who was in Happy Birthday to Me. She was in quite a few sort of slasher films back then. Another one is sort of a stand-up comedian played by Lynn Griffin, who was in... I had it, but then I forgot it. Lynn Griffin was also in Black Christmas. That's what else she was in. Leslie Donaldson was Happy Birthday to Me, Funeral Home, Curtains, and Deadly Eyes, which is about killer rats. Also has Michael Wincott, who played Top Dollar in The Crow. He was in Alien Resurrection. He played producer Paul Rothchild in the Doors movie with Val Kilmer. Wincott was very young in this. Michael Wincott's character kind of looks like if James Franco is playing James Dean. It's kind of what he looks like. I will say, even though the mask isn't that great looking, you know, it's very loose and floppy, the scenes that it's in are very well done and very creepy, especially the ice skating scene. You know, Leslie Donaldson is an ice skater. She's kind of the pure girl who I think ends up sleeping with the director, and she feels bad for it. She's ice skating, and she finds the doll buried in the snow. And you get this slow motion, like feet ice skating towards her. And then, as she looks, it's far away. You just see this figure coming with a hand scythe coming towards her, and then it shows up close, hair blowing. It's very creepy. Very well done. She gets the hand scythe to the throat. That scene. And then Michael Waycott's character gets killed. He goes away, then only to be found dead later. Actually, her head is found in a tub, which is really the only effect in the film. A tub. I said tub. I meant toilet. Her head's found in a toilet. The only kills you see without the mask is when Samantha Eggar actually kills Jonathan Stryker, and the girl he's sort of choosing to play Audra. Those are the only deaths without the mask, which could kind of be a clue. I'm going to say spoiler alerts now. I will say, yeah, obviously it's not My Bloody Valentine. It's not, big class. It is a cult film. You might be a little underwhelmed by how not bloody it is or gory, but the scenes with the old hag mask, especially the ice skating scene, is very creepy, very well done. And TerrorTrap.com says Curtains is an absolute must-see for slasher completists. I agree. So if you're a slasher fan, you haven't seen this, definitely check it out. Get the Synapse release. But from here on, there's slashers. Fuck me. There's spoilers. I was surprised by the ending. You have Samantha Eggar and the sort of comedian girl, Lynn Griffin. They're in the kitchen. And you find out that Samantha Eggar only killed the director and that other girl. Lynn Griffin is the one that wore the mask and slashed all the other girls because she wanted the part. And actually it flashes back to her stand-up bit at the beginning of the film where she says she would do anything for a film role. Have you ever wanted something so bad? So yeah, and then she kills Samantha Eggar. She stabs her. Which I was not expecting. I pretty much thought this is one of those, the killer from the beginning. It's Samantha Eggar. The twist wasn't bad. I sort of bought into it. It ends with her sort of doing her stand-up routine at a mental hospital. Which I guess the original ending was she was on a stage at the mansion and she had all the bodies behind her performing Audra to an imaginary audience. But I guess people thought it didn't make sense and it was too unrealistic. So, again, they toned it down and did that ending. Which I thought was okay. I mean, it was a surprising twist. Would this go down as one of my favorite slasher films? Probably not. But, every once in a while, just for good creepy scenes, it's definitely worth popping in. I would sort of put this in the realm of, like, Terrorist Trap. Only I think this is way better than Terrorist Trap. Because its eerie visuals are better than the story and the kills and the gore themselves. But yeah, I enjoyed Curtains. I had fun with it. Definitely, I mean, everyone talks about the ice skating scene. That's like the one thing that people take away from this. But there's other scenes that work just as well. So yeah, I could definitely recommend Curtains. It is better than Terrorist Trap, though. But yeah. So for Room 237, that's Curtains. Thank you.